Every empire believes it is permanent, its walls seem unbreakable, its armies seem unstoppable, its rulers speak as though history itself belongs to them, and for a time, they are correct. The empire grows, the wealth multiplies, the cities expand, the banners fly higher than ever before, but history carries a secret. No empire notices its own ending, not until it has already begun. Today's scripture is not about the rise of a nation, it is about the moment a civilization discovers it is mortal. Welcome to Code of Scripture. This afternoon, in the Code of Scripture, we examine one of the Bible's darkest prophecies, the Book of Nahum, a warning delivered to the most powerful city on earth, a city that believed nothing could touch it. The city was Nineveh, capital of the Assyrian Empire at the time. It was the center of the known world. Its walls stretched for miles. Its armies conquered nation after nation. Its kings ruled through fear. Entire civilizations trembled at the mention of its name. To its enemies, Nineveh felt eternal. Its power appeared limitless, its wealth unimaginable, and perhaps most dangerous of all, its people believed their own mythology. They believed the empire would continue forever. History shows this pattern repeatedly. Power survives long enough, and eventually it begins to worship itself. Strength becomes arrogance, success becomes entitlement, dominance becomes identity, and once a civilization begins believing it cannot fall, the fall quietly begins. Generations earlier, another prophet had arrived in Nineveh. Jonah, his warning shook the city for a brief moment. The empire changed course, the people repented, violence decreased. The disaster was postponed, but human memory is short. The generation that feared judgment died. The next generation inherited prosperity, and prosperity often creates amnesia. The warning became a story, the story became a legend, the legend became mythology eventually. Nobody believed it could happen again. That is where Nahum enters, not with a warning, but with an announcement. The time for changing course has passed. The consequences are already moving. Nahum reveals something fascinating about civilizations. They often confuse survival with immunity. If disaster does not arrive immediately, people assume it never will. If corruption produces profit, people assume it is sustainable. If power expands, people assume it is deserved. The Assyrians mastered domination. They conquered, extracted, controlled, expanded, and each victory convinced them they were chosen by destiny itself. But history rarely destroys empires from outside alone. The deeper collapse begins internally. When arrogance replaces wisdom, when force replaces justice, when fear replaces legitimacy, the empire continues moving forward, but the foundation beneath it begins to crack. The illusion remains intact, the structure does not. Nahum repeatedly compares Assyria to a lion, a predator, a hunter, a creature feared by all who encounter it. For years the lion devoured everything around it. No one challenged it. No one resisted, no one imagined its weakness, but eventually, the lion grows old, the territory shrinks, the prey disappears. The strength that once seemed limitless begins fading. This is one of history's most consistent laws. What rises eventually declines. What expands eventually contracts. What dominates eventually encounters limitation. The lion remains dangerous, but no longer immortal. And immortality was always the illusion. Ancient records tell a remarkable story. When Nineveh finally fell, floodwaters reportedly damaged sections of the city's defenses. The very river that once helped protect the city became part of its destruction. Nahum describes floodgates opening, waters overwhelming the stronghold. The imagery is powerful, because throughout Scripture, water often represents forces beyond human control. You can build walls, you can build armies, you can build empires. But eventually reality itself arrives, and reality does not negotiate with arrogance. The flood becomes symbolic, not merely water, but consequence, the accumulated result of years, decades, generations of decisions finally arriving all at once. What seemed impossible yesterday becomes unavoidable today. Nahum is not celebrating destruction. This is important. The prophet is not cheering. He is observing, because great cities rarely fall because they are attacked. They fall because they forget why they existed. Power becomes the goal. Expansion becomes the purpose. Control becomes the identity. And eventually, the system begins consuming itself. The empire mistakes size for stability, wealth for wisdom, fear for respect. The collapse appears sudden, but the causes were accumulating for years, perhaps generations. The fall was never a single event. It was a process, and Nahum simply arrived early enough to see it. The Book of Nahum is not really about Nineveh. It is about every civilization, every corporation, every institution, every system, every person who mistakes temporary power for permanence. History leaves ruins everywhere. Broken cities, collapsed empires, forgotten kingdoms, and every one of them once believed they would last forever. The lesson of Nahum is simple. The greater the power, the greater the temptation to believe the rules no longer apply. But reality remains patient. History remains patient. Consequences remain patient. And eventually, every empire must answer the same question. What was your power built upon? Nineveh ruled the world. Then it became a memory. Its armies vanished. Its kings disappeared. Its walls crumbled into dust. And for centuries, people doubted the city had even existed. Such is the fate of every structure built upon arrogance. The Book of Nahum survives because the pattern survives. The names change. The empires change. The technology changes. But the illusion remains the same. The belief that power can escape consequence. History says otherwise, and Nahum stands among the ruins, quietly reminding us, no empire is forever.